Hi, I'm Nurse Huckleberry.
And I'm Dooder.
And this is Solo Adventures
Together.
The podcast where we, as a married couple, send each other out on solo adventures and then reconvene to talk about them. The fun part is that we choose these adventures for each other, so they're reasonably blind.
We don't get to find out about them until about the day before.
About the day before.
You learn about the dress code. You learn about what to expect, kinda. Where it's gonna be. Mm-hmm. Will there be snacks? Mm-hmm. Sometimes it doesn't say.
Sometimes it doesn't say.
But sometimes it says, bring a snack.
Yeah.
So
you gotta know. You gotta know what you gotta bring.
You gotta know. It could be a potluck. You never know. So this bi-week.
Yes, bi-weekly.
Is that what you call it when it's every other week?
Yes, and bi-weekly is one of those confusing terms where some people take it to mean twice a week, and some people take it to mean every other week.
If you expect us to,
the every other week.
If you expect us to do this twice a week, bro, you are taking away from my precious YouTube video viewing time, Kiki.
Kiki, come on.
So this bi-week, every other week, you sent me where?
I sent you to Disco Libraria.
Is that what it was called?
Yeah.
I had no clue what it was called.
Disco Libraria.
Disco Libraria.
So this was an event I found on Eventbrite, and it fit the time, and it seemed interesting. So I decided to send you there. The description of the event says...
Please tell me. I didn't look at it.
Come one, come all. Disco Libraria is a reading social for all introverts and extroverts.
I'm one of those things.
It's an opportunity to read, unwind, and socialize. Join us for Reading Social, filled with good reads, drinks/bites, and curated tunes, all happening at Friends of Friends, which was the cafe.
Right.
Bring your favorite book or pick one from our collection and enjoy the soothing sounds of music.
Soothing sounds, okay, yeah, we'll touch on that.
Lastly, don't forget to bring along a book to participate in our book swap. Everyone will leave with a new book to fall in love with. In a world where the daily hustle can really wear you down, it's all about taking a breather and nourishing your soul. Why not do it in a room with like-minded individuals? This event is perfect for bookworms, the music lovers, the introverts, the extroverts. Okay, we are just repeating ourselves. Those just looking to have a good time. It says, please be sure, in bold, please be sure to be on time as reading session will begin promptly at 6:30.
Okay.
And then it has a schedule of events.
Okay.
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock.
Find your seat.
Okay.
They give 30 minutes for this.
Uh-huh.
6:30, reading hour.
Okay. Reading hour.
7 o'clock, music intermission.
Right.
So 30 minutes of reading, music intermission for 30 minutes. 7:30, reading hour.
Did they read their own description? Sorry, go ahead.
I don't know.
Another reading hour?
Yeah, so 6:30 to 7 was supposed to be reading, and then 30 minutes of music, which this whole part made no sense to me. I did not understand that.
So interpreting that, it sounds like
that
30 minutes of silence,
30
reading.
minutes of, or maybe like light background music.
Sure. And then we disco dancing.
And then music intermission, which I assumed was maybe like someone, like a live musician maybe.
Sure.
And then 7:30 reading hour to 8 o'clock. So there's 1 hour of reading split by 30 minutes, which I personally don't, as somebody who likes to read, I don't get that, but whatever. And then 8 o'clock was social hour and book swap begins. Cover fees go to the cost for employees, blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
Wait, what does it cost? What goes to the what now?
To cover the cost for our employees and being able to give the readers what they want.
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's it.
And then you got some sort of follow-up email, right? That went along with it. It was just reiterating, like,
I did
be
get
there
an
at
email.
6. There's street parking. Because you told me that, and I was like, all right, I got to leave at this time. I got to be there at this time.
I
got to make sure I got a parking spot and all that stuff. I mean, it just reiterates that information, right? Or do you want to actually find it? We get a lot of emails. Kind of popular. Not this podcast, though. Kind of popular. Yeah.
That would have been on Sunday. I've got, man, why is Costco sending me so many emails?
Gotta opt out of those emails.
Well, and there's this app that keeps sending me a bunch of emails too. I'm like, get out of here with that. I don't know.
That's why I have a spam email I use.
I know, but it's like important stuff, except I think it just automatically like turns on email notifications for everything.
Right, and then they sell your data and they send it out.
Right,
That
exactly.
makes sense.
I don't know.
It's okay. I remember all the information. Get there on time.
Yeah, the email said mostly, be sure to get there on time. We are beginning promptly. There's only street parking, so make sure that you give yourself enough time to park. And I did encourage you to leave early and give yourself enough time to be there because it sounded like they were pretty strict on start time.
And
that kind of stuff.
I
And you
did leave on time a little early. And I found street parking and I was there early. I was there about 5 minutes early, which was pretty cool.
Wow.
But this,
That's so grown up of you.
I know. I think the most grown up part about that exchange was finding the parking spot because I was going, so it was just street parking, right? But I realized I had been in that area before because there was a thrift store right next to it that I recognized that we went to at some point. Maybe before we moved down here. I don't know. Anyway, I found a spot where there was a person pulling out of a spot when it was like one of the angled, going the other direction.
Right.
So I like kind of pulled over. Of course, I'm driving at the 1988 4Runner, which the turn radius is, the power steering is, a little, let's say,
Rudimentary.
prehistoric. It works, but it definitely, I'm glad I've been working out because,
Right.
it's a turn in the wheel is a.
Yeah, you got to turn a lot.
So I was waiting for them to back out, and then I pulled over to the side so I could have my blinker on to flip a U-turn. And then I saw another car pull up behind me, and they put their blinker on, and I was like, oh, no. No, you don't. I need this spot so I can be on time for my book club, disco, social club. Okay? So I started flipping early. I flipped that bitch early and did a 7-point turn.
Uh-huh. Very nice.
And made sure.
And made them wait.
Well, they were waiting, and, maybe they thought I was just going to drive past because I was just turning around to drive past. But no, they were waiting. They were waiting on the same side of the street I was with their blinker on, and I was just like, I just pulled right into the spot. And then I was like, no, I didn't. They drove off.
You did say it was a Tesla.
It was a Tesla, so I don't care. They're probably crying because they ran out of battery because there were no Tesla chargers around there.
Yeah, of course. Okay, so you go in.
Yeah.
So we made it there on time. Yay, early.
I go in, I stand awkwardly until somebody's like, who the hell are you?
Uh-huh.
Right? And like, what's your last name? And I said, your last name, because I knew it was under your name. Because, you
Yeah, I
you
bought
did
the
it.
ticket. Yeah.
And so I told them, and they're like, great, find a seat anywhere. We're at capacity. So all of the chairs are going to be filled. So just pick a seat. It's probably going to be with strangers since you are alone. But, this was, start talking. The bar's open. You can get a drink. You can get some food. Food serving. You can order food until 7. Right? So they had an hour to order the food because then the kitchen closed.
So wait, but based on they want 6 to 7, they're like, all right, everybody orders their food, or
And drink,
6
yeah.
6 to 6:30, everybody's gonna order their food.
Yeah.
But the way that it's laid out, there's like a music intermission at 7, so you would expect that the food would be available.
We'll go through how accurate or inaccurate the written schedule is compared to what actually happened.
Okay, yeah.
But in the first 30 minutes, which was everyone showing up, finding their seats and everything, everybody got in line to get a drink. And they had beer, they had wine, they had iced coffees, they had lumpias, and tater tots. Just don't even get me started on the cost of the tater tots. $8 for a bowl of tater tots. I opted to buy absolutely nothing because I wanted to lock into the book
Right.
situation. So I sat at I think the biggest table in the room. The coffee shop or cafe or whatever it was seemed to have closed. Like it was closed.
So like an after hours event.
Right. It seemed like an after hours event, which makes more sense because the kitchen, they're like, oh, can you stay like an hour later
Right.
to serve this big group of people? A couple of things. And they had a small menu for the people. They didn't have the espresso machine on. They didn't have any not fried food.
Who goes to a coffee shop and can't have espresso?
It's okay. They had iced coffee for $8. Don't worry.
Gross.
Don't worry. And Thai iced tea. Which was, the combination of things, the tater tots, the lumpias, and the Thai iced tea was, I couldn't quite tell what what the theme was, So I just didn't think there was one.
Yeah, okay, sure.
So the big long table, I was sitting with, it sat eight people, and there were 4 other people there when I sat down, and then the other chairs filled up eventually. But the people across from me struck up a conversation during the first 30 minutes intermission. Not intermission, the first 30-minute waiting period. So the social hour, I guess we'll call it. Well, 30 people are in line to get coffee next to me. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, we were just talking about whatever. They had been to, I guess this happens every once in a while, the disco book club.
Yeah, I guess so.
And they had been to a couple before. They said they liked it. It was a good cause, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, oh, cool. So I'm looking forward to seeing what happens. And then we talked about the books that we brought and, which ones we're reading and all that. And I was like, I'm reading this book, a William Faulkner book from 1930, As I Lay Dying. And I've only heard of Faulkner before reading the book. So I was like, I don't know what the book's about, but I know a band that's called As I Lay Dying, and they're good. So either they read the book or they just like the name of the book. Or maybe the As I Lay Dying is some sort of saying they said in the 30s. I don't know. Didn't look it up. And then, what?
Well, the one other thing that I remembered that was in the email was there was something about a raffle.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I forgot. They gave us a raffle ticket on the way in. 1 raffle ticket.
Did they have an option for you to buy more? Or?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I think they were $1 each.
Bert. Hey.
Bert, stop scratching the chair. Bert. Yeah, you could get another raffle ticket for another $1, which, that's nice. And so basically we kind of just sat around and then 6:30 hit. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, while this is all happening, there is a live DJ spinning tracks.
Uh-huh.
Kind of like a little bit too loud, where having a conversation is kind of hard, especially across a wide table.
Okay.
Especially for me.
Okay. Spinning tracks makes me feel like it's a certain kind of music. And I'm expecting this, I would expect somebody to put together a bossa nova playlist or something for this kind of cafe book reading.
Yeah.
But that is not what I would not describe bossa nova as a spinning tracks thing. So
I would say the first 15 to 20 minutes or so, it was kind of lo-fi.
Okay.
But it went between lo-fi and kind of lighter EDM house tracks. And it was interesting because apparently they'd done it at that location a couple of times. And they have this huge wall of records.
Okay.
I'm going to sneeze.
Bless you.
Behind the bar. I might sneeze again. Oh. Never mind. Just. We'll cut this part out.
What are you doing, Bert? Okay.
Am I clear?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay.
You're good.
So they have this whole wall of records, probably 1,000 records. Or
Oh,
more.
wow.
It's 4 records high and maybe 8 to 10 records wide. Lots of records. I don't think that the DJ was utilizing those records in any way.
Well, DJing from records is a lot harder.
Sure. And not much lo-fi has been put onto records.
No.
So maybe they have DJ sets going on there other nights. I'm not sure what I didn't ask. So this DJ is spinning tracks while we're having a conversation. 6:30 hits. Mm-hmm. Okay, so that's when we're supposed to start reading.
Right.
I was under the impression there was going to be a hard music
okay,
cuts. Everybody, it's time to start reading. Let's go. And then they put on music.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know?
music.
Like we're in an elevator.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen.
Okay.
In the conversation with the people across from me, the wife, or let's say, wife or girlfriend, I don't know what their marital status was, I didn't ask, said that she had been 3 or 4 times to these events in this location and other locations. And she basically said, you could have been reading this whole time if you wanted to, but now we can start reading now.
Okay, well, sure,
Mm-hmm.
but that's true in like any social circumstance that you don't feel like participating in. Yeah, if you brought a book somewhere and you don't feel like talking to anyone, you could be reading like the whole time. I'm pretty sure that's how reading a book in a cafe goes.
So then the husband was like, well, maybe if we just all start reading, they'll prompt everyone else to start reading, right? So then we all open our books and we start reading. And maybe 20 seconds later, the organizer gets on the PA and is like, all right, everybody.
So it was a success. So they were prompt about it then.
I think it was because there were more people starting to read, and they're like, oh yeah, I guess we probably should.
Had people like actually sat down? You said there was like a long coffee line for a while.
There were still maybe 10 people in line. It was a slow roll for people to put wine in cup. I don't know what was going on over there, but like every single person, every single interaction at the cash register seemed to take about 5 to 10 minutes. So it was wildly slow to get basically already prepared drinks and fried food ordered.
That's crazy. Wait, and were they delivering it to a table or?
Yeah, you'd get people got numbers and stuff.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
So we're not there used to be a cafe like this in Humboldt.
Uh-huh.
Do you remember? It was that place called Because Coffee.
Oh, in Old Town.
In Old Town, and
they had food.
She would have soup sometimes. Sometimes she
I
would
love
have
soup.
She had soup, and she had like little snack type things.
Okay.
But trying to order a coffee, I have, and have it brought, have it be made for a latte, easily 10 minutes, and you're the only person in the establishment.
Yeah.
Like,
I remember that place.
There's this, that was one of those where I'm like, you have to be so patient. And then she always complained that she wasn't doing well. And I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Really? You're complaining that you aren't doing, you take 10 minutes to make a single latte. And it's a fine latte.
Yeah.
But I don't really want my latte to take 10 minutes.
I did like the interior of that place.
Yeah.
A lot of cool,
yeah, kind of squishy couches and stuff.
Yeah, and 70s, kind of hippie. Bert, can we please just record this? You're going to keep scratching? I'm going to touch you. No, I remember when I was doing the on-air stuff on the radio, when I would kind of do some sales for advertising for my own radio show. That was one of the places I went to a couple of times to try and see because...
They had no money, though.
Yeah, tell me about it. Nobody in Old Town had money.
No, I had no money.
Every single one of those businesses was skirting by. Unfortunately.
Yeah. So the cafe was taking forever, but you just started reading at the advice.
Yeah, so we all started reading, and then they made the announcement that the reading hour has started. Everyone start reading your books, whatever. Music got louder somehow. I think the music got louder.
They're like, oh, good, people aren't talking as much, bump it.
Right, and I feel like they got more energized music. And there was someone sitting next to me, to my right, that recognized one of the songs right away, and it was that one song that was like, ooh, Barbara Streisand. The one that's got Barbara Streisand in it.
So just party music.
Party music. And they were singing along, and I was like, how are you reading and singing at the same time? I'm fine with reading and having music in the background. That's fine. Uh-huh. But if it's kind of distracting music or music that I don't know.
Well, and you were trying to read Faulkner.
I was trying to read Faulkner, which I did not know. Okay? I did not know that it was hard to read. I didn't know it was hard to read. The book is basically, from what I grasped in the first 20 or 30 pages, is it was in the Deep South, based in a time before there were cars. Or maybe there were cars, but they didn't have any because they were poor. And it was about a lady that was dying and her various kids and another family and their various kids. And then everyone had more than one name, and they called each other more than one name all the time. So it was hard to keep track of who was talking to who about what. Mm-hmm. And on top of that, every chapter was from the perspective of a different character. So, like, for example, the first chapter is Darl. The second chapter, which is 1 page later, Cora. The next chapter, which is 2 pages later, Darl again. Okay, great. So we know, we kind of learn a little bit about Darl. Then, don't worry, we get to Jewel. Then, no, it's okay. You forgot about Jewel? Let's go back to Cora. Wait, let's go to Toll. How about Toll?
I feel like I maybe watched this as a movie in high school English.
Yeah, I think there is a movie of this.
That would not be surprising. Because, like, when you were describing the story to me, it sounded really familiar. And I'm like, okay, I feel like I have heard this story before,
Sure.
but I don't think I read it. So it must have been a movie that we watched.
Well, I could see.
Because it's not that long of a book.
No, and I could see if I read this whole book, it would make sense, I'm sure. Mm-hmm. But it's very hard to go chapter to chapter, not only from a different person's perspective, and not knowing how much time has passed. So far, half a day has gone by. Where is he?
I don't know. He might be doing the
He's under the couch.
I think he's doing upside down, dragging himself along the couch thing.
But
Kiki's peeing.
Not only do the characters change, it changes perspective every chapter, but everyone has like a different way of speaking, different dialect, and a different attitude. So you have to shift who you are as the reader.
Right, and there's also like 1800 slang.
Right, yes, the slang was wild. I definitely had to look up a lot of things, tools that they aren't used anymore. But you know, the visualization was good. Like I had not a hard time at all, you know, imagining everything. It was just when they'd switch, and I was like, okay, well, like they're talking about this and that happened, and like, okay, then they're talking about the thing that happened 3 chapters ago, so it's still the same day. And then it got to another part where it's like, oh yeah, now it's nighttime, and we're like, okay, is it the same day still, or has it, like they said it took 4 days to get to town? So I don't know, have they get to town yet? They're on their way back. And so I tried.
Okay, so you're listening to this.
While listening to the bumpiest music.
You're reading a desperately confusing and archaic text, or a text with archaic language to Barbra Streisand. I
mean, it's my own fault for bringing that book. It was my own fault. Like, that's a book that you read next to a fire in silence, right? With like a notepad to keep track of things.
Yeah. Okay.
I should have brought one of these books.
Okay, so we're at 6:30. So you read for 30 minutes.
Sure. We read for 30 minutes. They stop everything. Do a raffle.
Okay.
So everyone's got their ticket. They raffle off. What did they raffle off? They raffled off a complete collection of Edgar Allan Poe poetry work, right? Mm-hmm. Which was, it was an older version, but it wasn't like a collectible or anything. But it was a nice used book. Then they also auctioned off like a mystery book, a book wrapped in paper.
Oh, okay. So not like it's not like about
no. Well, I don't know. It could have been a mystery book in a mystery.
It's true.
But it also came with like a bouquet of flowers, and it was like a nice wrapped present. You know, it was a cool. They called it a book bouquet. Ooh. Right. So it was like a bouquet of flowers, but it also contained a book. So that was cool. They called the number before mine and the number after mine. Twice. I think they bought more tickets.
But you didn't win.
I didn't win. But that's okay. Then we got back into reading.
Okay.
Okay.
It said musical break. Was there music outside of the DJ?
Music never stopped. I don't know. There was no differentiation.
So there was no different, okay.
Yeah. And it seemed like the people that won the raffle, like they knew.
So how long did that take, though? Did it take 30 minutes?
10 minutes, maybe.
Okay.
It was a 10-minute raffle sesh. People clapped. People usually clap at a raffle.
Yeah. I do feel like clapping at a raffle is pretty unearned because, like, what did you do?
It's random
You
chance,
bought a
yeah.
piece of paper.
Or you got one for free, or
Yeah.
with the price of your ticket.
But yeah, I do feel like people normally clap. Anytime anyone wins anything, they're like, ooh.
Which, how much was the ticket again?
It was like $13.
$13. So with the price of the ticket, I could maximum guaranteed wares could have been a raffle ticket, and I could have got a book. Right? If I didn't bring a book, they would have given me a book.
No, they said you could buy a book.
No, if you didn't bring a book to
Oh, to read.
no to swap.
No, it said that if you didn't bring a book to swap, that you could buy one.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
That's what it said in the email. That either bring a book or you can purchase one from us.
oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
To participate in the swap.
Right.
I assume they probably had like $1 used books or something.
Yeah, I don't know. They had like a tiny little book shop set up.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that puts a little cloud over the sunny day, I think.
Well, I mean, who shows up to a book swap at a group, bring a book to read, and there's a book swap, and you don't bring a book to the book swap?
I'm just trying to figure
Like,
out
that's
what the
honestly, that is bizarre.
I'm just trying to figure out what the price of the ticket got you. I mean, yeah, it was cheap and it was an experience, but they gave me time to read and a DJ, right?
Well, and they facilitated
The book swap,
the book swap, but also like
the raffle. They
you know,
did
getting
the whole,
getting to be around people,
yeah,
right? They
Which is
facilitated
priceless.
the interaction.
yeah.
And, you know, they have to pay to keep the employees there for an hour late,
I guess so.
however much that would be.
Yeah. Well, I didn't keep track of time after that, so then we read for a little bit longer, and then they grabbed the mic again, did the last bit of raffling, which was another book bouquet. I think they had like a glass jar of their merch, like a cup with a lid. Kiki! And then a bag, like a tote bag
Okay.
that they raffled away. And then on the back of our raffle ticket was a number. And they said, they reiterated time and time and time again, that number is really important. I'm not going to tell you why, but that number is super important. Keep that raffle ticket. You're going to need that number. And then they stopped everyone from reading, like, all right. And they made a really big deal about, like, okay, check your numbers, everybody. This is why I told you to keep track, because it's going to be your groups.
Okay.
These are the groups you're going to break into. So, yeah, you were probably all wondering what that number is going to be for 1 through 6. What they're going to be. And I was like, that's
Wait, what was your number?
5.
Wow.
Yeah.
Group 5, coolest group.
Coolest group. Coolest group.
Okay, so you break into groups, and there was how many people in your group?
Let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 of us.
Okay, so there's like maybe 30, 35 people at the total event.
Yeah, I estimated between 30 and 40, something like that. I mean, it was a full cafe, so they probably seat 40 people in there, including the organizers, right? So then they had these papers that were upright in these plastic holders, right, that had
Oh, like the
prompting questions
flyer.
for the group chat.
oh.
So then the thing was we were all together. So then we were supposed to talk about books. Very nice. So everyone kind of went in a circle and talked about the book they were reading and why they chose it and how they're liking it and if they've read it before. And you know, I started mine there. Other people were
Had
like
been
halfway
reading it.
through a book, or some other people started books then. And then it was basically up to whoever wanted to ask a question that everyone then could choose to answer or not. Bert's going absolutely wild.
He's got zoomies like crazy. Bert, just poop already.
Bert, just poop already.
Just poop already.
Okay, Bert.
He's like a cannonball.
He's like, where's the bathroom? Where? I want to poop in the tub. Where's the tub?
He doesn't want to. He's like, you're there, so I don't want to poop next to you.
Bert, you're gonna have to poop next to us, okay? This is...
Bert, I don't want it either. I don't want it either. Anyway, let's hurry up.
Yeah, we'll hurry up, Bert. We'll hurry
sorry
up.
about that, Bert.
Hurry up and make time go faster.
Kiki peed just fine.
Yeah, Kiki peed just fine. Bert, go poop. Yeah, you're just going to saunter away. Okay. So then various questions were asked about, let's see, what questions?
Oh, what was the group's response to how your book was going, by the way?
Well, none of them have heard of it or read it before, so I tried to give them my best synopsis, about as good as I just gave you about it. And then I said, it was kind of boring. It's kind of boring so far. And then everyone laughed, and then we moved on. So, I don't know. Mild entertainment from my description.
Okay.
You know? So then the other people just asked other questions. Like someone asked, what was your favorite book you read last year? Mm-hmm. Could you answer that? What was your favorite book that you read last year? What about you?
Yeah.
Can you answer what
Leave
book?
a comment and say what your favorite book you read last year
Leave
was.
a 5-star comment.
I think mine was C.S. Lewis's Out of the Silent Planet.
Out of the Silent Planet. Great Iron Maiden song.
It was a really, and it was interesting too because it took me a little bit to get into it because C.S. Lewis has a tendency to
Drag on.
fucking drag for the beginning of his books. And then once you actually get like into the meat of the story, it's really good. So once I got into it, it was great. But it did take a while to get there.
Sometimes you gotta have patience.
I want to read, so the book that I have is actually a trilogy. And I want to read the other two, but after I read Out of the Silent Planet, I was like, oh my God, that was so good. I can't wait to read the next one, which I think is Paralandia or something. And I started reading it, and it starts with like quite the recap of the first book. And I was like, I need to wait.
Yeah.
I'm gonna
Get a
wait.
proper recap.
I mean, I'll wait a bit so that way.
It's hard to skip a recap because you're like, all right, when does the recap end?
And there was new characters in it, but
In the recap?
in the recap where like the guy that went on the first adventure is recanting his adventure to
Other
a new
people.
person.
Okay.
Right? And explaining what happened. And I'm like, I can't read that back to back. So it's been long enough. I think I should be able to pick it up fine. And like at the time I was just like, okay, I'm a bit done. But
Yeah.
anyways, so yeah, I would say that was my favorite book I read last year.
I mean, I couldn't think of one because I don't know if I read a book last year. I'm trying to think if I finished a book last year. I don't think I did. So, like, I'm hoping that I can read more books this year and finish more books. Because that was another thing we had talked about was, like, I guess it's kind of common for people to start a book and then not finish it.
It's very common.
Because...
I have many books I have started and not finished.
Right, because you go hard the first time. You read, like, 2 or 3 hours, maybe a quarter of the book or something, and then you put it down for a month. And you're like, all right, do I start from the beginning? Do I go back a couple of pages? Do I just trek on and see what happens?
I think it really depends for me on what the book is about. If it's a nonfiction book, I'll normally kind of just pick up where I left off or maybe like refresh myself a little bit. Mm-hmm. If it's more of a novel or telling like a distinct story, for me, a lot of times a book will just capture me and then I will read it in a couple of days or within a day, typically. And
well, you're such a fast reader.
I am a fast reader. And if not, then there's like a kind of low chance, unless I get into the book, there's a low chance of me actually finishing it. There is one that I really like that I'm reading right now called Visual Intelligence. Mm-hmm. That's about increasing your perceptive skills through art. That I'm most of the way through, and I read like 3/4 of it pretty quickly, and then I kind of set it down because I got a little busy with the holidays and stuff, and now I have the last quarter to read, which I just need to pick it up, and it's It's well written.
I feel like for me, it's the same with video games, where I just don't want them to end. So I will do everything that I can to not finish it because I'm enjoying the journey so much. Especially with video games, like I will go way out of my way to do every single side thing that I can before the end of the game. And it's the same with books, where I'm like, oh, I don't know if I want to. I will wait to finish a book because I'm like, I don't want it to end. And then what? Then I got to start a new book. You know?
That's not how I feel.
I'm not saying it is. I'm saying that's how I feel.
No, I understand.
Can I have feelings?
Yes, I'm just saying that's definitely not why I stop reading a book or I don't finish a book.
Well, you also read like 10 books at a time, and I cannot do that.
I can have like kind of a roster of books going.
Yeah. I can read one book at a time and almost finish it.
So here's my philosophy on things, is that if a book does not really capture your interest, that is the writer's fault. And there's kind of two sides to it. Either you're not the target audience because you're not super into whatever that topic is, or it is the writer's fault because they are not making their writing interesting enough to captivate you. Why people think that just because a book is published means that it is good or worthy of your time and effort in reading, I don't know. But if a book isn't interesting, I don't think that you should feel compelled to finish it.
Well, I mean, for example, like that big tub of books that we got from the thrift store, we went through them all and kind of weeded out some that were either too long, sounded boring, and then organized them by type. And I'm sure there's still a lot of boring books in there.
I'm sure.
But they're all short enough and probably stupid enough to be entertaining for a couple of hours. And because they have such big text, it doesn't matter that much. You know, you spend an afternoon reading a bad book, maybe review it on Bad Reads Book Club on the Nurse Huckleberry Show.
Yeah.
Every month.
Yeah.
What is this month's book again?
It's the lawyer book. It's like something, it's literally right there. It's over on the
Have
floor.
you started reading it?
I have not started reading it. No, I have not.
And when is book club's in like a week, right?
No, it's on.
Oh yeah, it's in February.
It's in February. It's the first week of February, so I've got time.
Yeah.
And if I read it too early, I'll forget what's in it.
No, especially if you read it too early and made notes, then you'd go back and be like,
I would remember from my notes, but it's definitely easier if it's fresher in the mind.
So, well, let me try to get back on track here. What were we talking about?
We were talking about...
Oh, yeah, we talked about questions and whatnot.
Yeah, the questions. You talked about your book.
Right.
The book swap.
Well, so we were just talking for a while, and one of the people that was in our group turned out to be a high school biology teacher. So the topic kind of shifted from books to the failing educational system.
Yeah, okay.
And how everything kind of sucks, and she hates teaching these kids that have no attention span and work on laptops with digital textbooks.
Fair.
Yeah. So she was, kind of airing out some qualms.
Grievances.
Yes, and we were kind of workshopping some solutions on how she can maybe grasp their attention more to retain the knowledge of biology class in high school, but they're 13, 14-year-olds, so like, what do they care about, right? Biology should be one of those things.
No, sex.
Boobs, am I right? Huh? Penis.
I don't know. See, I just don't get these kids because I was always interested in science.
Really? Were you really?
Yeah, I was. I always wanted to.
It's so crazy. You're not anymore. It's so weird that didn't, persist through your adult life. And that you didn't want to be a marine biologist since you were fucking 5 years old or whatever.
Yeah, I did not.
No, I'm thinking they're more like me, where I was like, I like music. I don't care about math or whatever. Like, what's that going to help me in life? And then you realize that music is math. Mm-hmm. And then they teach. I think that was one of the best things that my high school did, was they put a big emphasis on music, and they taught math using music. So they, one of the teachers took a guitar and was like, all right, let's divide this thing, right? And let's talk about, what the divisions of the notes, like their frequency, and how the frequency breaks up as it moves along, and the numbers, like what the numbers are and how that works. And then they took that and put it in geometry somehow. I don't even remember how, but like geometry. You'd think I would remember a little bit more of that.
It's hard.
Anyway, we talked about that for a long time with the high school teacher. We were all very interested.
That conversation, yeah.
Yeah, and then I talked about how my mom's a kindergarten teacher, and then there was another person in the group where their mom was a kindergarten teacher, and it was also Spanish immersion, but then they were in D.C., I think, and not California. And I was like, before she said that, I was like, do we have the same mom? We have the same. We have the same mom, you guys? And clearly not. We didn't look anything alike. Yeah. So then we noticed some people started leaving. And then we kind of all had the realization, we're like, is the event over? Are we done with the event? And then we're all like, what about the book swap? So we're all kind of panicking. We're like, all right, this is the book I brought to swap. And, then we kind of like figured out what. And so luckily it worked out super quick and easy because somebody had already read the book I brought. So then that went to somebody else. And I had read another book that somebody else brought. And then I saw this book, Anthony Bourdain's World Travel, an irreverent guide. And I was like, I like Anthony Bourdain. I bet he's writes a good book. So I was like, I want that one. Oh, it smells like cologne. I didn't realize that.
Oh.
Do people spray their books to make them smell good?
I mean, I don't know. Women used to spray their letters to make them smell like...
This book costs $35? I brought a book that costs $8. New.
Right. Which, I mean, I've heard that Anthony Bourdain's books are very good.
Well, if it's anything like his TV show, I'm sure it's great. I didn't realize he wrote so many books, but that makes sense.
Well, no. So, see the Anthony Bourdain, and then you see underneath it, there's another name.
Lori Woolever.
So, she probably did the majority of the writing, but he told her the stories. Is a lot of times what happens when celebrities are producing books. Like, there's not an expectation that the celebrity is the one who's doing the actual writing.
I bet Otto looks up to this guy a lot.
Yeah.
World traveler, celebrity chef, kind of crass.
But you know what I mean? Where it's like, you're not necessarily expected to be a...
I mean, he's got like all these books, and he's written a lot of books. I mean, when did this book come out? I'm curious how late it was into his career. Where is the date? Anywhere. Give me the date. Oh, wow. We went everywhere. It's every country in the fucking world. Where is the date? Where is the... Okay, well, never mind. I imagine it's 2008. 12. There's no date in there. It's a mystery. That's a flight. Don't look at that's yours.
Oh.
It was in the other book I brought. It was my bookmark. But no, I thought this book looked really interesting. Oh, there was a while where we were talking about like how often we read, like how much time we put aside to read. And some people were like, oh, I don't know, maybe put an hour aside a week to read or something like that. Like I want to do more or whatever. And I was like, I really want to read before bed. But usually I take an edible, and it's very hard to concentrate on words. So if I try to read before bed, I'll read the same sentence over and over again and give up. Because I'm telling you, there's no date in there.
There's no date.
I'm not. Why would I lie to you?
I didn't think you were lying.
Well, you clearly doubted me in some way to look for yourself, video viewers. Look at this evidence.
2021.
Oh.
Why they put it at the very back, I don't fucking know. But the copyright date is 2021 by Anthony M. Bourdain Trust. So...
Oh. So it could maybe have just been his stories compiled later by somebody else after he died?
Maybe. I mean, he is listed as an author. And Woolever, Lori, is also an author. But maybe, I don't know. I don't know when what year did he die? I thought it was pre-2020, but I don't know.
It was definitely pre-pandemic, for sure. So, yeah, then we swapped books. We kind of said, this was fun. Nobody knew when the next one was going to be. And then we all just kind of left. I told everyone, it was nice to have a chat. Can't wait to read my book. But I don't know.
I mean, but overall, did you enjoy the event? Would you want to go again?
I would go again. I would go again for sure. I know that while we were having our roundtable conversation with the smaller group, multiple people in that group, and I think other groups, requested that the music volume be lowered. And they did lower the volume. So that was nice, because if there's one thing that I hate, mostly because my ears sometimes don't work in some environments.
Right. It can be hard to pick out sounds.
Well, mostly it's hard to focus on words when you can't hear them really well, even if you can see their mouth, for me. So, and I hate yelling over music. It's one of my least favorite things to do. So usually I will just listen and pretend that I'm hearing what they're saying. Or nod, whatever. So when they turned on the music, it was a lot easier to have a conversation. Because, my speaking voice is not super loud.
No.
I don't, and I mumble sometimes. I'm not going to yell across the room so everyone can hear my conversation with you over there.
Yeah, I recently had an issue where there was too many people talking in a small room. And somebody was, trying to talk to me. And I was like, I cannot hear you, and I'm not trying. I can't.
Literally me in every social environment.
Yeah. I'm not going to fight this sound and just make it worse by trying to yell over top of all of these people yelling.
You don't know the amount of times that, you and I have been at a loud social event, and you're having a conversation with somebody just fine, and then, I'm there too, and they say something to me, and I'm like, and then I look at you.
Right.
Because I'm like, what did they just say? What is the topic of this conversation? I haven't heard anything in the last 10 minutes. I've been either bumping to the music because that's what I can hear, or thinking about needing to go to the bathroom, and when's my pocket to be like, I'm just gonna slip out and go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back. You gotta find the right pocket. Or maybe we're trying to leave, and then someone starts a new topic, and you're like, I want to talk about that. So then 15 more minutes go by, and I'm like, anyway, what?
I don't know. I recently did dodge a group of people going to a bar, inviting me to come along, and I knew I didn't really have time to go, and I had told them
We're
that.
busy people.
I had told them that I didn't really have time. But I was like, well, let me check in with my husband and see if he did the grocery shop. Because if he did the grocery shop, then I could go. And I knew you had not. But it's also one of those nicer things where I'm like, well, let me try.
Yeah.
And so I pretended to call you. I did not call you.
You could have just called me.
You were busy.
I was busy.
You were busy. I knew you were busy because it was 7 o'clock. And I knew you were going to be busy. So I was like, I'm not even going to call him. But I did end up pretending to go off into a corner and talk on the phone. And then I came back over and I was chatting with him a little bit, and I was like, oh yeah, I was like, oh, and I told him I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to make it today, but maybe next week. I just gotta prep more to be able to go, but that's okay. And they were all so disappointed, but mostly because I had told them I need to check, and then I went and checked. And then I came back over, and they had just assumed, now mind you, I walked away from the exit to walk away from the group of people who were talking.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to walk back towards the exit so I could leave. And they are also going to the exit to leave. And they're like, oh, so you're coming with us? And I was like, no, no, I have to leave this way.
It's the equivalent of having your mom tell you can't go do something when you were a kid. You're like, no, I don't want to go. Can you tell him yeah, can I go?
No, he didn't.
Oh, come on!
Yeah, he didn't do the dishes.
Come on, I really want to go.
Yeah, he didn't. Sorry, he didn't do the dishes.
Oh, shucks.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Ah,
where
crap.
I was just like, oh yeah, sorry, I have to stop at the grocery store. I'm just not gonna have time.
Adulting, am I right?
I did have to. I did stop by the grocery store, and I stopped by the weed store.
Well,
so.
honestly, I don't think you had enough time to do all of that.
I know. I probably
You would
wouldn't
not have been able to go
No,
be social at a bar
no.
during dry January.
And I did say that too. I was like, "Oh, I'm doing dry January." They were like, "Oh, it's fine. I don't even drink." And I was like, "What? Okay."
Why do you want to go spend
Why do you wanna
$8
go
on a
to-
mocktail?
Exactly. Can we not just like go to a coffee shop then?
There are no coffee shops open at 7 p.m.
I don't understand that.
I'm telling you, it's still a golden idea. We need to open up a coffee shop that
Opens at 8.
well, it doesn't have to open at 8. It can open at noon, right? And we can have 2 shifts.
Yeah.
But where it caters to
The
our
evening
kind.
crowd. Our kind.
Our kind. Like, come on, a coffee at 8 o'clock sounds delicious. Sounds delightful.
I know. All the European travelers coming to San
Yeah,
Diego.
come get an espresso.
An espresso.
Yeah, you're jet lagged? Great. It's 7 a.m. in Italy right now.
Have an espresso.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we should probably call it.
I might have an espresso now.
Ooh.
What time is it?
It's like 9 o'clock. It's like almost 9:30.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Perfect time for an espresso.
It is a perfect time for espresso.
Anyway, to wrap that up, I would go again. I'll look and see when the next one is. I think it's a very fantastic group of people. I just think if they would have left out the strict schedule verbiage, I think I would have had a lot less of an expectation. You know, where like I love doing things without expectations because then I could really enjoy it for what it is. But if they set the expectations, be like, we're going to stick to the strict schedule. This is exactly what's going to happen. And then I'm like, all right, nothing went the way you said it was, but it was still enjoyable, right? So I would go back again. I would go to that coffee shop again, honestly, at the cafe, like during open hours.
She wants to sit on your lap.
Oh, come here, Kiki. It's because I'm in her chair. Hey. Well, that wraps up another fantastic episode of Solo Adventures Together.
You're just spanking that cat.
I gotta spank the cat.
Okay, there she goes. Thank you so very much for joining us on this episode of Solo Adventures Together. We put one out every other week.
Bi-weekly.
Bi-weekly, and we take turns on who gets to go where. So I will be adventuring next time.
Yes.
I'm excited to see what that's going to be.
I will start doing my research.
And if you liked what you heard and maybe you want to hear it even earlier, you can always join our Fourth Wall memberships. For just $5 a month, you can get this podcast and a bunch of other cool stuff.
Yes, there's a bunch of stuff from our live stream, the Nurse Huckleberry Show, where you can see old edits of old streams from 2022 and on. And there's
More.
episodes of Autumn Rudy, there's musical guests, there's all kinds of stuff.
There's so much stuff.
You can also see the video.
Yeah, and the video. If you want to see the video of this podcast, which...
We will
Fair
be...
warning, we will be bringing the video to YouTube soon.
with the help of Black Magic.
Yes, as Black Magic will be providing camera equipment for the podcast, and
we might set up a different area to do it in.
yeah, there probably will be a new area,
But it'll still be posted on the membership page early.
Yeah.
So if you want to continue to support that way, that's still an option.
Well, thank you so very much, and we will see you next time.
Next week.
Next week.
Next week.